My name's Eric Kluckstall, and I'm here today to talk about a really cool overdrive pedal that a friend of mine, Lee Weeks from Odyssey Lab, put in my hands, and I just wanted to shoot a small video and just describe a little bit about what the pedal does and how it affects my tone, and how it's really made a difference in the way I play and the way I feel the notes. And but this is going to be the final version, so I'm told, of the overdrive pedal. Obviously you've got the input and the output, and then you've got your power, just standard 9-volt negative tip. Same, works on a pedal power, works very well. And if we look at the controls, starting with this one, this is obviously your volume, and this is really going to control just the tones, and it's really going to give you a really good boost in your volume if you just want to even use this pedal as a volume boost. So this is a very touchy knob, but you'll it'll respond well to your pick attack. Over here we have tone, and it's pretty much, the more you roll it this way, the more mids, the more highs you have in it, and but I generally like to keep it right around noon or a little before noon, depending on what guitar I'm playing. This knob right here is obviously your gain 1, and it obviously, this controls obviously your amount of distortion or overdrive that you use, and really depending on what amp you're using. If you're using a pushed amp, or if you're using a clean amp, this is obviously going to respond differently to every amp. So again, your gain control. And then obviously the last knob is a gain 2, okay, but it also has a EQ section to it. So the more gain you give it this way, the more it also kind of gives you a little bit more mid-range, I would say low mids, and it does give you more overdrive as well. So you can run these two together, and you can really get an array of really nice tones. And anyway, and then moving on to the knobs, you've got 3 knobs here, and I know that the guys at Odyssey Lab are working very hard on trying to get this design, and after showing me a few models and everything, I think we settled on this one, and I really liked it because it's very pedal board savvy, and it's very easy to activate. You activate this switch, and it turns the pedal on, and obviously this gives you your first overdrive sound. And then if that's not enough, you've got this switch, so you would turn this one on, and then you would activate this switch to get this sound. And this sound, through several of the units that I've used, has a little bit of a sag on it, and it's real, almost has a liquid kind of response. It's really neat. It does sound very different than the first sound. The first sound sounds very much like a pushed amp. They're all very different, but I really think that there is a difference between these two. This one, obviously you would need to click this one off if you wanted to move to sound number 3. Okay, you click that one on. Meanwhile, your first sound is still on. Okay, you click this one on, and again, it's just a completely different vibe. And all I can say is this one really responds differently to a different amp. But again, it's I would say it's very similar to the first sound, the first button, and but again, it does respond very differently to a different amp. Okay. So anyway, do you want me to redo that? Okay. All right. And so you can run obviously you have one at a time. You have one knob at a time that you have to pick, for a different sound. But as far as studio work is concerned, I've used this pedal a lot, and it really works very well. I'm able to EQ it how I want. I'm able to dial in the correct sound I want, and works very well. So this is going to be the production model. And it's got a very good paint job on it, and it's very shiny, and there's nothing on the cover. What you see is what you get, but you don't really need logo to get what this pedal does.